vision for 20 in the morning. Thinking of my little sisters in mourning. Struggling with realities, no maladies. Holidays are the same, everything's changed. No Bowie, no Prince, and no Michael, no Andre Crouch and the Disciples. No Walter, Edwin, or Deborah Coley. No Whitney, no George Michael. Toys R Us gone bankrupt. Damn, they could toss it and went bankrupt. Everything from my childhood's missing, man. Man, I swear it's such a fucked up feeling, man. I'm the man, it's a simple observation. And I'm not sad, but it's not a celebration. I'm just trying to put the pieces back together, man. Everything's falling through my fingers like sand. It seems so tighter that I'm gripping. It seems the more that I am slipping. I feel like I lost everything I love. And where's this the legend of God be loved? Churches ain't the same. Gospel music just ain't the same. R&B it just ain't the same. But y'all keep telling me it's the same. But I ain't feeling nothing, damn it. And I don't wanna reach up and grab it. Shots fired, get to dunking. Always knew they were up to something. This ain't no future when you're frontin'. And y'all know you still out here fool. I'm not a baby, bro, I'm grown. Don't leave me standing out here alone. That's why I wrote this song, because I know I'm not alone. What are we out here doing? What are we out here saying? People don't care no more. Forget I don't care no more. If this is too much for you to handle, I was always too much to handle. There ain't nothing new about me. You don't want authenticity. You don't want sincerity. 2020 brought me clarity. See who you really are. No less worry. Mailbox record. Racist motherfucker. Let's go. Homie, you don't really want it. Sis, you don't really want it. I'm your nightmare opponent. Walking in a new anointing. Walking past all your bullets. Nothing in the trigger bullets. Try and pull it again. No weapon missed again. Tired of talking about changes. Tired of going through changes. Lie after lie. Lie after lie. Republicans and the Democrats. Prime ministers and bureaucrats. Senators and aristocrats. HBO and Cinemax. Still the babies in the cages. Babies dying in the cages. I ain't forgot about the cages. And if you did, then you're a racist. Calling it out like it is. Call it out like it is. We've been in law for a year. And we're heading for another year. Lights off for Cologne. High interest student loans. Living in a pandemic. Calculated and systemic. Start with black folks first. Kill that melanin first. Press us down and we pop up. Press us down and we pop back up. Speaking of getting it poppin', I heard you wanna get it poppin'. 400 years picked up. I guess you really wanna get picked up. We ain't playing with that ass. I'll get all up in that ass. Been doing wrong for too long. Time to sing a brand new song. Free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty. We're free at last. Free of your religion. All of your religion. All of your past decisions. All of your wicked intentions. It didn't work back then. Ain't gonna work now. We were people back then, but we get rowdy now. Let's get ready to rumble. Let's get ready to rumble. Sick of being here anyway. Can somebody shout change? Change! Change! Change!
hit for the team. Took a bullet for the dream that we would one day all be free, free from prejudice. sexism, free from bigotry. I die for creativity. I die for freedom to be free. I died and left a legacy. Oh, but baby, I still live through technology. Pain, and tears of pain, and a dash of struggle, just be patient. Your destiny will manifest, yes, falls in the sea.
What is going on? What is going on, y'all? Hope you guys are having a wonderful Tuesday afternoon. Cut my music down some. Hope everybody is doing smooth. Does the audio sound okay? First of all, before we get started, I would like to wish one of my supporters, one of the individuals who is, as the term is used on YouTube, street committee, who continues, one of the two, who continues to send me information like the live that we're going to get into this afternoon. King Deshaun, happy birthday to you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for all that you have done by supporting the platform, your friendship, your words of encouragement, and your work. It does not go by unnoticed. I thank you so much. Again, shout out to Queen Stevie in the building. Okay. And you said yes. Thank you. Thank you. So hopefully everything's balanced. Hold on one second. I had a cough. Excuse me, y'all. Sorry. Cut this down a little bit more. Because normally I do my stuff on OBS, but I'm on StreamYard. Just in case somebody asks me to drop the link, I'll be able to do it. Because on OBS, I don't have no time for no P-bomb and stuff. I'm messing up my shit. Okay? Y'all, this live is going to be a little bit lengthy because it's going to require a lot of reading. Again, for individuals who are supporters of mine who are of the trans experience, this live will unfortunately trigger you because we're going to be reading, as you can see on the screen here, 2 trans women of color who unfortunately lost their lives. And not just that, we're going to be reading from the Human Rights Campaign all of the trans individuals who have had their life snuffed out and lost, unfortunately, this year. And again, the queer community is a very small community. So even though to a lot of other people who have bigger communities that they're part of, it may seem like a small number. But when that community is already small and you have the number going into the double digits, that means that these individuals are more times likely to experience these things happening than those of larger groups. No shade, just being honest. But before we get into that, what we're going to do today is before we get into any of that, let's go ahead and get this out the way. And I'll be trying to set my shit up, and I always forget to do this every single time. I have to do better. And I should know it by heart the many times I've said it, but I just be overthinking sometimes. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All the videos, songs, images, and graphics used in this live belong to their respective owners, and respective owners, and BubzDaGawd does not claim any right over them. Okay? All right. Now, before we get into the unfortunate unaliving of a lot of our trans sisters, especially trans sisters of color, we want to talk about, or I want to share with you a story that was shared in 2012 that I think reverberates to this day in reference to queerness and children, and just queerness being in people's vicinity, especially with people that are close to them and people that they hold near and dear and cherish, you know, with their hearts. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to speak about a mother who tried to do everything she can to make her son not gay and how she regrets that. But even though the situation ended tragically, with all things in life, there is some sort of lesson to be learned, and she will share what she has learned from this experience. And hopefully from her experience, parents and future parents of queer children will be able to have a healthier outlook to be able to help their children live long lives, to feel affirmed, especially in a world that is fear-based and will try to do everything in its power to convince your child that they are not worthy of love and affirmation. Okay? So with that being said, make sure you're listening to this as you're doing something else in the background. That's perfectly fine. I'm okay with that. I want you to listen to what's being said, okay? Now, before we get into that, let me go ahead and get into my little music. Because, you know, I got to set up, help set the atmosphere. You know, the queer people been doing that. Look at the black church, no shade. The first thing we're going to take a look at today is we're going to read. Yeah, I'm going to be tongue-tied a lot. That's just a part of who I am. Moses was a stutterer in the book, so hey, be you. Be you. At the end of the day, be you. God love you for who you are and who you aren't. Okay? But the first article, story we're going to get into is from today.com. And before we do that, let me take a sip of water, y'all, because I think this cotton mouth trying to set in. Y'all know I love weed. Hold on. Queen Stevie says, okay, Bubs Codwell, Shia, Omashania. Okay? The first one that we're going to read again in the description for that article is in the link below. The link is for that is in the. Okay, y'all, it's supposed to be serious. Let me go ahead and give Andrew his real quick because maybe that'll help out a little bit.
Shia, Omashania. Oh!
Okay, let me go ahead and get that out of my spirit real quick, okay? Maybe that will help. Okay. Again, if you want to read along with me, the article for the link is in the description box below. There we go. And it reads, and I think I'm going to have to take this off to put this up. And I'm going to have some visuals on the screen for those who want to see it. Okay? And it reads, I tried to stop my son from being gay. Here's what I wish I had known. And this is for the Christian people. So I hope you're listening. And again, this is for the Christians who are willing to face the fear, not submit to it, not be scared of it, not say, okay, Jesus, you got to go do it. No, for those who are willing to walk hand in hand with that Christ energy and walk through the valley of the shadow of death. All right? And it reads, as a Christian, I thought I was doing the right thing. Years after losing my son, I'm sharing my story so other well-meaning parents don't end up like me. And this is by Linda Robertson. Now, Linda Robertson originally wrote this essay in 2012, 3 years after her son's death, and published it on her blog in 2013. Since then, her family's story has spread. It was featured in the documentary For They Know Not What They Do, which I'm going to have to definitely check out. And Robertson has become an advocate for queer inclusion in faith-based spaces. She hopes to unite parents on both sides of the issue, knowing that all parents just want what is best for their children. And for those who are parents, and even though I'm not a parent, I have good parents, isn't that what you want for your child? For your child to live its best life? Can we agree on that? Now, Robertson is sharing her story again with Today, given the current issues queer youth are facing, and in the hopes that her story will reach other parents who may find themselves in a similar situation. On the night of November 20th, right, 2001, a conversation held over AOL Instant Messenger changed our lives forever. As you can see on the screen here, our 12-year-old son messaged me in my office from the computer in his bedroom. Ryan, can I tell you something? Mom, yes, I'm listening. Ryan, well, I don't know how to say this really, but, well, I can't keep lying to you about myself. I've been hiding this for too long, and I sort of have to tell you now. And by now, you probably have an idea of what I'm about to say. I am gay. I can't believe I just told you. Mom. Are you kidding? Ryan. No. I thought you would understand because of Uncle Don. Mom. Of course I would. But what makes you think you are? Ryan. I know I am. I don't like Hannah. It's just a cover-up. Mom. But that doesn't make you gay. Ryan. I know, but you don't understand. I am gay. Mom. Tell me more. Ryan. It's just the way I am, and it's something I know. I mean, you're not a lesbian, and you know that. It is the same thing. Mom. What do you mean? Ryan. I am just gay. I mean, I am that. Mom. I love you no matter what. Ryan. I am white, not black. I am a boy, not a girl. I am attracted to boys, not girls. I mean, you know that about yourself, and I know this. Mom. What about what God thinks about acting on these desires? Ryan. I know. Mom. Well, thank you for telling me. Ryan. And I am very confused about that right now. Mom. I love you more for being honest. Ryan. I know. Thanks. We were completely shocked. Not that we didn't know and, love gay people. My only brother had come out to us several years before, and we adored him, but Ryan? He was unafraid of anything, tough as nails, and all boy. We had not seen this coming. I mean, the emotion that overwhelmed us kept us awake at night and, sadly, influenced all of our reactions over the next 6 years was fear. We said all the things that we thought loving Christian parents who believed the Bible, the Word of God, should say. What's up, Queen Spicy? We love you. We will always love you. And I mean, this is hard, like really hard, but we know what God says about this. And so you are going to have to make some really difficult choices. Look, we love you. We couldn't love you more. But, listen, there are other men who had faced the same struggle, and God has worked in them to change their desires. We'll get you their books. You can listen to their testimonies, and we will trust God with this. We love you, okay? We are so glad that you are our son, but at the same time, you are young, and your sexual orientation is still developing. The feelings you've had for other guys don't make you gay, so please don't tell anyone that you are gay. You don't know who you are yet. Your identity is not that you are gay. It is that you are a child of God. And we love you. Nothing will change that. But if you are going to follow Jesus, holiness is your only option. You are going to have to choose to follow Jesus, no matter what. And since you know what the Bible says, and since you want to follow God, embracing your sexuality is not an option. What's going on, Harold? What's going on, Chief Soul Survivor? See, we thought we understood the magnitude of the sacrifice that we and God were asking for. And this sacrifice, we knew, would lead to the abundant life, perfect peace and eternal rewards, even if it was incredibly difficult. See, Ryan had always felt intensely drawn to spiritual things. He desired to please God above all else. So, for the first 6 years, he tried to choose Jesus. Like so many others before him, he pleaded with God to help him be attracted to girls. He memorized scripture, met with his youth pastor weekly, and went to all the youth group events and Bible studies. Baptized and filled journals with his prayers. He read all the Christian books that explained where his gay feelings came from and dove into counseling to further discover the origin of his unwanted attraction to other guys. He worked through difficult conflict resolution with my husband, Rob, as you can see on the screen here, and me, and invested even more deeply in his friendships with other straight guys, just like the reparative therapist experts advised. And as you can see on the screen, the caption reads, Ryan, pictured with his father, pleading with God to help him be attracted to girls, his mother recalls. But nothing changed. God didn't answer Ryan's prayers or ours. We all believed that the God of the universe, the God for whom nothing is impossible, could easily make Ryan straight. But he did not. Though our hearts may have been good, and we truly thought what we were doing was loving. That part. Again, though our hearts may have been good, we truly thought what we were doing was loving. We did not even give Ryan a chance to wrestle with God, to figure out what he believed God was telling him through scriptures about his sexuality. We had believed firmly in giving each of our 4 children the space to question Christianity, to decide for themselves if they wanted to follow Jesus, to truly own their own faith. But we were too afraid to give Ryan that room when it came to his sexuality, for fear that he'd make the wrong choice. What's up, Queen Amber? Hope all is well. Basically, we told our son that he had to choose between Jesus and his sexuality. We forced him to make a choice between God and being a sexual person. Choosing God practically meant living a lifetime condemned to being alone. And again, on this channel, have we not done lives where people of the Christian faith have told queer people, if you can't change, this is the only alternative besides hell? Now, as a teenager, he had to accept that he would never have the chance to fall in love, hold hands, have his first kiss, or share the intimacy and companionship that we, as his parents, enjoy. We had always told our kids that marriage was God's greatest earthly gift. But Ryan had to accept that he alone would not be offered that present. And so, just before his 18th birthday, Ryan, depressed, suicidal, disillusioned, and convinced that he would never be able to be loved by God, made a new choice. He decided to throw out his Bible and his faith at the same time and try searching for what he desperately wanted, which was peace, another way. And the way he chose to try first, was drugs. See, we had unintentionally taught Ryan to hate his sexuality. And since sexuality cannot be separated from the self, we had taught Ryan to hate himself. So, as he began to use drugs, he did so with recklessness and lack of caution for his own safety that was alarming to everyone who knew him. Suddenly, our fear of Ryan someday having a boyfriend, a possibility that honestly terrified me, seemed trivial in contrast to our fear of Ryan's death, especially in light of his recent rejection of Christianity and his mounting anger at God. Ryan started with weed, and beer, but in 6 short months was using cocaine, crack, and heroin. He was hooked from the beginning, and his self-loathing and rage at God only fueled his addiction. Shortly after, we lost contact with him. For the next year and a half, we didn't know where he was or even if he was dead or alive. And during that horrific time, God had our full attention. See, we stopped praying for Ryan to become straight. We started praying for him to know that God loved him. We stopped praying for him to never have a boyfriend. We started praying that someday we might actually get to know his boyfriend. We even stopped praying for him to come home to us. We only wanted him to come home to God. By the time our son called us, after 18 long months of silence, God had completely changed our perspective. Because Ryan had done some pretty terrible things while using drugs, the first thing he asked me was this: "Do you think you could ever forgive me?" I told him, of course. He was already forgiven. He had always been forgiven. "Do you think you could ever love me again?" I told him that we had never stopped loving him, not for 1 second. We loved him then more than we had ever loved him. "Do you think you could ever love me with a boyfriend?" Crying, I told him that we could love him with 15. We just wanted him back in our lives. We just wanted to have a relationship with him again and with his boyfriend. And a new journey began. One of healing, restoration, open communication, and grace. Lots of grace. God was present every step of the way, leading and guiding us, gently reminding us simply to love our son and leave the rest up to him. Over the next 10 months, we learned to truly love our son. Period. No buts, no conditions, just because he breathed. We learned to love whoever our son loved, and it was easy. See, what I had been so afraid of became a blessing. The journey wasn't without mistakes, but we had grace for each other, and the language of apology and forgiveness became a natural part of our relationship. As our son pursued recovery from drug and alcohol addiction, we pursued him. God taught us how to love him, to rejoice over him, to be proud of the man he was becoming. See, we were all healing. Most importantly, Ryan began to think that if we could forgive him and love him, that maybe God could too. And then Ryan made the classic mistake of a recovering addict. as you can see on the screen. He got back together with his old friends, his using friends. And one evening that was supposed to be a simple night at the movies turned out to be the first time he had shot up in 10 months. And the last time. We got a phone call from a social worker at Harborview Medical Center in Seattle asking us to come identify our son. He had arrived there in a coma, in critical condition. We spent 17 days at Harborview, during which time our whole family was able to surround and love on Ryan. We experienced miracle after miracle during this time, things that no doctor had any medical explanation for. God's presence was tangible in Ryan's room, but that is a long, sacred story that I'll have to tell another time. Though Ryan had suffered such severe brain damage that he had almost complete paralysis, the doctors told us that he could very well outlive us. But unexpectedly, Ryan died on July 16th. And we lost the ability to love our gay son because we no longer had a gay son. What we had wished, prayed, and hoped for, that we would not have a gay son, came true. But not at all in the way we had envisioned, right? Now, when I think back on the fear, that governed all my reactions during those first 6 years after Ryan came out to us, I cringe as I realize how foolish I was, right? I was afraid of all the wrong things, and I grieve, not only for my oldest son, who I will miss every day for the rest of my life, but for the mistakes I made. I grieve for what could have been had we been walking by faith instead of fear. Now, whenever Rob and I join our gay friends for an evening, I think about how much I would love to be visiting with Ryan and his partner over dinner. But instead, we visit Ryan's gravestone. We celebrate anniversaries, the would-have-been birthdays, and the unforgettable day of his death. No, we wear orange, his favorite color. We hoard memories, pictures, clothing he wore, handwritten notes, list of things he loved, tokens of his passions, recollections of the funny songs he invented, his Curious George and baseball blankie, anything, really, that remind us of our beautiful boy, for that is all that we have left. There will be no new memories. We rejoice in our adult children and in our growing family as they marry, but ache for the one of our gang of four who is missing. We mark life by the days BC, before coma, and AD, after death, because we are different people now. Our life was irrevocably changed in a million ways by his death. We treasure friendships with others who get it because they too have lost a child. We weep. We seek heaven for grace and mercy and redemption as we try not to get better, but to be better. And we pray that God can somehow use our story to help other parents learn to truly love their children just because they breathe. Now that was the article from today. Read y'all comments real quick. Then we're going to get into some more information. Harold says they believe in pray the gay away like it's an on and off switch, and it's not that simple. And you'll find a way to pay for your semester, Amber. Trust me, the universe, God's source consciousness is going to work a way out. Trust me. Queen Stevie says, Harold, that part, remember Jared Carmichael's mom tried that ish? Harold responds, yes, and at that point, you have to make peace with your life for you. The folks who are truly in your corner will ride regardless, and ones who won't, they're lost. Queen Stevie also says, and the more you think about it, Project 2025 basically wants to use conversion therapy on us as queer people. Hell no, we're not going back. Parents, love and celebrate and appreciate your children, no matter what their creed, sexuality, religion, whatever. Let them live unapologetically free in their truth. Parents, accept your kids. Harold says, that has to be a shitty feeling. So much time wasted trying to change someone who has already affirmed their own existence. And that's why I do what I do as far as sharing information. Now, what people do with it is up to them. We'll see who's really liberated in the light, in truth, and those who are still shrouded in fear. But now what we're going to do, let me put the banner back up. All right. There are two trans women on the screen here. Okay. Monique Brooks, who is in the front, and Tai'Vion Lathan, who is in the back. And not only that, we're going to also read from the Human Rights Campaign's website of the number and individuals of trans people who have lost their life thus far in 2024. So again, for those of you who are of the trans experience, this will be a triggering segment, but I also ask that you please sit and work through the triggering aspects. Because I also want my trans sisters, trans brothers, queer people to know that even though these stories have ended tragically, we still have a right to defend ourselves. And we also have the power to be able to not be another statistic. So I ask that you please stay through it as well and to help work through those triggers. Do it for the sake of other trans people before you and those who are coming after you. And for the queerphobic people, this is the time we're supposed to be sitting down, pulling out your notebook and your paper, have your damn Christian music playing in the background, your damn candle lit and holy oil on your ears as you listen to this and actually walk through Christ and learn the information. Because when you don't, you end up doing lives like about explaining what toxic masculinity is, only for your own content to be used against you as you use it. Okay, this is time to learn. Again, we're seeing who's really fear-based and who's not. But we're going to start with Monique Brooks again in the front. And again, this is from them.us. Again, the links for these articles are in the description box below. Citing my sources as you should do when you're doing things scholastically. Challenge the information that you see. Not just with your opinions, but with the facts too. And I know y'all listening, and I hope y'all do it. Because if not, these last two lives that was on a particular platform shows me how lazy and ignorant and unintelligent certain people are when it comes to queerness. And if you're going to challenge queer people about queerness, get ready to lose. Anyway, Monique Brooks, black trans activist who was the life of the party, killed in Florida. Monique Brooks, a black trans activist and hairstylist remembered as the life of the party, was shot and killed in Orlando, Florida on July 19th. She was only 49 years old. Brooks, also known as Jade Monique Thomas, was found with a gunshot wound in the parking lot of the Florida Mall at around 3:50 a.m., according to Fox affiliate WOFL. She was taken to a hospital where she unfortunately succumbed to her injuries, law enforcement told the network. Information about what happened prior to the shooting remains scarce this week, as police have now asked the Orlando community to contact them with any information. Sorry, I'm changing my music here. That's a little too loud. Cut it down some. Okay. If anybody anywhere hears anything, sees anything, even just that inkling of anything, please reach out to law enforcement. Brooks' sister, Lacia Paul, told WOFL, please Please, this didn't have to happen. Paul described her sister as fun-loving, brilliant, and a person who lived her life out loud. According to social media posts from Brooks and her community, she was also a talented hairstylist, a digital content creator, and an activist who held annual fundraisers on her birthday for nonprofit organizations, including Pushback and the National LGBTQ Task Force. Brooks was also involved with Divas in Dialogue, an Orlando community group for trans women of color. A celebration of her life was planned for August 2nd. Monique was one of the sweetest souls I ever known. Motrice Williams, executive director of Divas in Dialogue, told the Human Rights Campaign late last month. She has always been the life of the party and willing to help anyone in need. She will be truly missed. Her kindness and outgoing spirit will never be forgotten. Tori Cooper, executive director of the HRC Foundation's Transgender Justice Initiative, also mourned the loss of yet another Black trans woman to gun violence last month and called for local authorities to thoroughly investigate her killing. Monique was a gem of a person who should be with us today, Cooper wrote. We called on Orange County to exhaust all possible means in securing justice for Monique. As a community, we grieve Monique and know that her bright spirit will live on through her loved ones. Brooks is one of at least 13 Black trans women in the U.S. who have died violently this year, according to a list of such deaths maintained by the HRC, which we will be getting to. She is also the third known trans person to be killed in Florida in 2024, making it the most deadly state so far this year for trans or gender-expansive people. HRC's memorial for Brooks noted, in the wake of her death, other activists condemned Florida Republicans' anti-trans propaganda and the normalization of gun violence in the U.S. for contributing to Brooks' killing. Violence against trans people in the U.S. disproportionately impacts Black trans women and is fueled by hateful, discriminatory, anti-queer policies and rhetoric, wrote representatives for Every Town for Gun Safety on Threads earlier this week. Monique should still be alive. We are holding her and her loved ones in our heart. Now on to Tai'Vion Lathan, a Black trans woman remembered as kind and joyful, killed in Baltimore. Tai'Vion Lathan, a Black trans woman remembered as a kind and joyful person, was shot and killed in Baltimore, Maryland on August 4th. She was only 24 years old. Lathan's body was discovered around 10 a.m. in an alleyway in West Baltimore, CBS affiliate WJZ reported. Desire Bands, drop-in center coordinator for the trans outreach nonprofit Maryland Safe Haven, told ABC affiliate WMAR that Lathan had been shot 5 times and covered in a blanket in the alley. That shows the inhumanity that the person who killed her has, Band said. Few details about Lathan's life were publicly available this week. Her friends and family described her as an outgoing and affectionate person who lived life unapologetically as herself. She was very loving. She loved everybody. She was very funny, Lathan friend Corrine Davis told NBC affiliate WBAL. Carla Stokes, Lathan's aunt, told CBS affiliate WJZ that her niece was just who she was, a very outgoing person, a sweetheart. According to the 2023 Maryland Trans Survey, which recorded data from 750 trans and gender diverse people across the state, more than 46% of respondents had experienced physical violence or sexual assault in their lifetime. Maryland Safe Haven staff told WMAR that they have seen at least 28 similar killings of trans women in Baltimore over the past 5 years. It really hurts to know that this is another one, Bands told WJZ. It should not be another one. We really need support right now. Maryland Safe Haven Executive Director Ia Damons agreed, telling WMAR that Lathan's death was an injustice for her and all of us. Her story is our story, so we want to make sure that her story is being told, Damons added, and that law enforcement is doing the correct things to make sure that her murder is solved. Police have not yet released details about any possible suspects in Lathan's killing. In statements to WMAR, Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott vowed on behalf of the police department to track those people down and do their due diligence. Scott also blamed what he called a culture of violence for Lathan's death. This is what you hear me talking about when you talk about that culture of violence, Scott told WJZ. We have to think about that in its completeness for everybody in the city of Baltimore, including members of the trans community. Damons and Maryland Safe Haven are currently fundraising to help Lathan's family pay for a funeral cost, raising $2,000 out of the $6,000 goal at time of writing. A vigil is planned for Friday, August 9th and it has the address here. Mourners are asked to bring pink balloons and pictures of Lathan. Lathan is one of at least 13 black trans women who have died by violence in the U.S. this year, according to a list of deaths maintained by the Human Rights Campaign. Even if police identify Lathan's killer, the shock has already scarred her grief-stricken family, as friends and family struggle to come to terms with her violent death. I can't take it no more. I'm tired of losing my people. I'm tired of having to be scared to be myself, Corinne Davis told WBAL. I'm tired of having to walk on eggshells because I am who I am. She didn't deserve that. She didn't deserve to not be here. And now we're going to go ahead and move it on over to the Human Rights Campaign, okay? Because we know that heterosexual people, unfortunately, are not going to put in the work to even study themselves, to show themselves approved about queer existence and stuff. So, of course, the queer people are going to do it. All right? I'm just going to leave this on the screen because on the screen, we're going to go through every single one of them because I want y'all to understand how serious this is. That if y'all really walking in Christ like y'all say y'all are, this is a time to care about also God's creations, which is also sheep of another fold as well, the queer fold. But it reads, fatal violence against the trans and gender-expansive community in 2024. Matter of fact, let me hit my joint real quick because I'm going to need that real quick. Y'all give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Cut this down some. Because see, we come with information. We come with facts. We don't come with just ignorant ass, fear-based ass, unexplored, uninformed opinions. And even when we do speak on things that we don't know, we are at least aware enough to say that we're speaking ignorantly. Okay? Sorry, y'all, these papers I got at a short was, I know they were so small. Excuse me. Okay. Sorry. Let's get into it, shall we? The Human Rights Campaign is both saddened and infuriated by the deaths of at least 22 trans and gender-expansive people whose lives were tragically and inhumanely taken through violent means, including gun and intimate partner violence in 2024. Okay? Since 2013, the Human Rights Campaign has tracked incidents of fatal trans violence. The same year, the Federal Bureau of Investigation began reporting on hate crimes motivated by anti-trans bias and provided action items that can help end the violence, which again, for the people who really about Christ, I'm going to let y'all do y'all research on that, because the links for that is also in the article that I'm reading on the Human Rights Campaign's website. So if you really care about trans people, queer people, and you really want to bridge the gap in the way that Christ would have done it, because a lot of you motherfuckers ain't walking in Christ energy. Y'all walking in fear-based energy. Because even when Christ was dealing with the fear-based thing that a lot of you motherfuckers would sit up here and piss and shit on and cry about, he was able to also experience that as a human being, but walk through it. The question is, can you walk through it? So if you're willing to walk through it, go ahead and hit, because they have the information here. And just like queer people, we always the ones that is doing all the work, doing all the research, and making it easier for y'all to understand. Meanwhile, y'all don't want to. But anyway, these victims, like all of us, were loving partners, parents, family members, friends, and community members. They worked, went to school, and attended houses of worship. They were real people who did not deserve to have their lives taken. As we continue working towards justice and equality for trans and gender-expansive people, we celebrate the lives for those we have lost in 2024. Because see, in 2024, 73% of victims were people of color. 41% were black transgender women. 59% were killed with a gun. 50% were victims. 50% of victims, with a known killer were killed by a romantic, sexual partner, friend, or family member. And 32% were misguided or dead named by authorities or the press. And I heard someone say, well, we can always get our sources and, we'll find statistics that support our argument. Okay, well, then the next thing to do is to go ahead and study that argument that they're bringing about to see if it's real. That's what scientists do. When they have hypotheses, they also have to have people follow after them and do the exact same thing to yield the same result. So are you going to be willing to yield the same result by doing the work? Or is this just another opportunity for you to get up on a platform and speak your ignorance and your fear and your biasness as if though you can't get checked for that? Now, pay attention to the screen, because we're going to go through all the victims that have lost their lives thus far in 2024. See how I'm putting in the work? See how I have pictures? See how I have videos? See how I'm actually staying on topic and not being up there talking about shit that has nothing to do with the shit? I'm bringing all the stuff together to help y'all understand it. I'm giving y'all proof consistently, consecutively, and it's only one of me. Meanwhile, on a certain panel, it's a bunch of motherfuckers who still can't come together in one consensus. But on the screen, Monique Brooks. And I'm going to read every small little caption they have of it too. Monique Brooks' siblings, Lacia, described her as fun, loving, and smart. Others remember Monique as an amazing hairstylist. Every year on her birthday, Monique centered causes that people should support, including for queer rights. Okay? On Friday, July 19th of this year, Monique, a 49-year-old black trans woman, was found shot in Orlando, Florida, near the Florida Mall. She later died after being transported to the hospital, according to Orange County deputies. On the screen here, Kenji Spurgeon, a 23-year-old black trans woman, was described by her family as being a bright light in our lives on a GoFundMe page. They go on to say that Kenji was known for having an infectious smile and quick wit, and had an extraordinary ability to uplift everyone around with laughter, a joke, a song, or a dance. Kenji inspired us all to seek joy and be cheerleaders for one another. Tragically, Kenji was shot and killed in the early morning hours of July 1st, 2024 in Seattle, Washington. This is Shannon Boswell, a 30-year-old black trans woman who is remembered as one of a kind and a sweet soul, according to her obituary. Shannon was killed on July 2nd of this year in Atlanta. Her life was honored on July 13th with a service filled with loved ones and friends sharing fond memories of Shannon. Shannon was someone who loved people and enjoyed hobbies of watching movies and living life to the fullest. A friend described Shannon as their best friend and dear friend who was always there when you need her. Paulie Likens, a 14-year-old trans girl, was a bright and loving individual, cherished by all who knew them, according to a GoFundMe page. In Paulie's obituary, it is said that she lit up every room she entered, always making people smile and passing around her contagious laugh. She loved music, Fortnite, and Roblox, just like a lot of other 14-year-olds. Paulie was found dead in Sharon, Pennsylvania on June 25th of this year. She was last seen on June 23rd at the Bud Street Public Park in Morristown, New Jersey. 2 days later, on June 25th, Paulie was reported missing. That same day, Paulie's dismembered body was found in the Shenango River Lake, a reservoir in western Pennsylvania, as confirmed by the Mercer County's Coroner's Office and Pennsylvania State Police. Okay? Lyra Tsai, a 35-year-old white trans woman, was found dead in a vehicle after the car crashed in Iowa on Saturday, June 22nd. Evidence from the scene confirms she was killed prior to the crash. Lyra, who was described by friends and loved ones as an activist and an artist, had moved to Minneapolis just 6 weeks prior to her death in order to pursue her career as a DJ in a city with a large trans community. These next two we don't have pictures of, so we have just a picture of a candle for them. Jaslyn Johnson, an 18-year-old trans teenager, was killed on May 6th of this year in Las Vegas, Nevada. According to police reports, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department found Johnson inside a vehicle on the morning of May 6th near Maryland Parkway in Las Vegas. Jaslyn was pronounced dead at the scene. Soon after, the Clark County's coroner's office ruled her death a homicide. Yella Clark Jr., a 45 black trans person who was serving a life sentence at Angola Prison in Louisiana, was killed in a fight with several other inmates on April 2nd of this year. With Yella, misreporting and misgendering in initial reports led to delays in HRC's own reporting. Most articles referred to them with their birth name and sex assigned at birth, though evidence suggests Clark may have used both Yella and Robert, their birth name, in prison. They identified as trans, had been diagnosed with gender dysphoria, and had begun taking female hormones to physically transition while incarcerated. We're not done. Okay? Yeah, this candle, did I do it for two of them? Okay, here we go. Michelle Henry, a 25-year-old black trans woman. We did a live on her. Not recently, but on this platform. Lived in San Francisco, where she had been a lifelong active member of the queer community, including attending the SF Queer Center Youth Program. She was referred to as a ray of light by the center's executive director, Rebecca Wolfe, R-O-L-F-E, Rolfe, who further described Michelle as kind, deeply caring, courageous, and fearless. Sadly, on May 15th, 2024, she was stabbed and killed at a private residence. While her alleged killer had been detained, the SF Police Department put out a statement that, this is an open and active investigation and has requested anyone with information to call them the tip line, or text a tip to tip 411 and begin the text message with SFPD, The next person we have on the screen is Brandon Tai'Vion Thomas. 17-year-old black trans girl in Mobile, Alabama, was beloved by her friends and family. Speaking with HRC, her grandmother described Tay as someone who always had a huge smile on her face, showing her dimples, and that she loved doing her hair and would help anyone. She was further described as shy, but so fearless, with natural leadership ability. Tragically, she was shot and killed on May 7th of this year. Her alleged killer, who has been arrested, was her romantic partner. Rena Hernandez, a 54-year-old Latina trans woman, was born in Mexico and moved to the U.S. when she was 19. She owned Rena's hair salon in Renton, the fulfillment of a childhood dream. She was described by friends and family as a happy, loving person and a dreamer who was hardworking and kind. Rena was shot and killed in Renton, Washington, on February 26th of this year. Keita B was described as her authentic self through and through by her friend of almost 2 decades, Chris Wade, executive director of the Justice Project, who also said that Keita was very well loved in the streets, meaning the queer community. Keita, a 46-year-old trans black woman, was killed in a hit-and-run incident in Kansas City, Missouri on May 3rd of this year. Star Brown, a black trans woman, was shot and killed in Memphis, Tennessee on April 19th. It's supposed to say shot. Was shot and killed in Memphis, Tennessee on April 19th of this year. Across social media posts, the love her community felt for her was clear, with loved ones describing her as someone who was truly loved, always had uplifting words, one of the sweetest, and a beautiful soul. A balloon release was held in her honor at the site of her passing on Friday, April 26th, and a memorial service was held on May 4th. Sasha Williams, a 36-year-old multiracial trans woman, was described as a selfless artist who had a heart of gold and as someone who had earned their GED despite struggling with her mental health, according to media reports. In an interview with the Las Vegas Review-Journal, Williams' aunt, Tina Thornton, said that she dreamed of being a performer in Las Vegas. Sasha was stabbed and killed in Las Vegas, Nevada. Though her death occurred on January 26th of this year, HRC learned of her passing in late March. I had lost my spot, y'all. I hit this little link or whatever. Here we go. Andrea Dora dos Passos, if I messed the name up, please forgive me, was killed outside of the Miami City Ballet in Miami, Florida on April 23rd of this year. She was experiencing homelessness at the time of her death and had been dealing with housing insecurity for some time, as reported by her family. On April 25th, a vigil for Andrea was held in Miami Beach's Old City Hall, organized by Pride Lines, a local queer community center, all these things popping up, with which Andrea was connected. Andrea's mom, who was in attendance, expressed gratitude for the community and life Andrea had been able to build before her death, noting, "I feel a bit lighter knowing that she had this group of people who loved her and accepted her." Okay? According to their obituary, River Nevaeh Goddard had an amazing, outgoing personality. She was very creative and artistic. She loved to write her own music. Her cuddly nature was only matched by her quick wit and goofiness. River, who used she, they pronouns, also went by Phoenix and their birth name, Nevaeh. On April 5th of this year, Stowe, Massachusetts police responded to a call for a wellness check. Police were able to make their way inside the home after 2 hours and found River had been killed by a stabbing. Okay. T. Legend Billions Arnold, a 36-year-old black trans man, was shot and killed in Hallandale Beach, Florida on April 3rd of this year. T was known among friends and family for his love of travel, his nieces and nephews, and for always offering words of encouragement to loved ones in need. Africa Perilla Garcia, a 25-year-old trans woman, also referred to sometimes as Emma Garcia, was shot and killed in the Chartreuse area of San Juan, Puerto Rico on February 2nd of this year. Details about Africa's life had been slow to emerge, as she was initially misgendered and dead-named in news reports and police records. However, friends have begun to speak out about Africa's life and death, noting she was loved and like a sister to them. I'm going to mess these names up again. Marexis Medina, a 24-year-old Latina trans woman, was called a sister by her friend Alicia Veneno on a GoFundMe page, saying she was just more than just a friend. According to her own Instagram page and a blog posted by PGH Lesbian Correspondence, she was a makeup artist who also worked at Universal Studios Hollywood, enjoyed shopping and watching the Jurassic Park movie series, and admired Shakira and Karol G. We're not done. Alex Taylor Franco, a 21-year-old trans man, was shot and killed in Taylorsville, Utah on March 17, 2024. At a vigil held in his honor, Alex's loved ones described him as an athletic, cheerful man with a big heart who was so much more than just Alex. Right? Diamond Bringman was a black 26-year-old trans woman. She was described by her friend as larger than life. She was killed during a drive-by shooting while standing on a street in Houston. Her death, and those of other trans people in Texas, underscore the need for significant and immediate legislative changes. Righteous Takei Chevy Hill, a 35-year-old black trans man known to his friends and family as TK and Chevy, pushed for black queer inclusion throughout his community. Chevy opened Evolution, a full-service hair salon dedicated to serving the queer community in Atlanta to help black queer people feel comfortable in a traditional black barbershop setting, just like how we gonna see what the barbershop is giving on Friday, y'all. We will be in the building. Chevy was tragically shot and killed in East Point, Georgia on February 28th of this year in the front yard of his home. And lastly, Kitty Monroe, who also went by their birth name, Marcos Lugo, was a 43-year-old Latin trans person who was known for painting, singing, and having a great sense of humor. In April 2023, Kitty spoke about her experiences as a trans person in a powerful interview for the YouTube channel Tales from the Streets. I'm going to check that out. Tragically, Kitty was killed in Phoenix, Arizona on July 1st of this year. HRC has been reporting and tracking reports, of fatal anti-trans violence for the past several years, and they have reports from 2018 up to 2023 there as well for the individuals who talk about statistics being used to back up their arguments. Okay, well, it's time for y'all to go ahead and fact check those. Now, while every case is unique, far too often we see the same themes and threads emerge in the fatal trans violence cases we report. Young trans women of color, particularly black trans women, you hear that, Black Men Unfiltered, continue to be disproportionately affected. Victims are often killed by partners, family members, and acquaintances, and guns are used in the majority of deaths. Additionally, misgendering and dead naming remains far too common in media and law enforcement's reporting of those cases. Some of those cases involve clear anti-trans bias. In others, the victim's trans or gender-expansive status may have made them, more susceptible to violence by forcing them into unemployment, poverty, homelessness, and or sex survival work. In all cases, it remains clear that the intersections of racism, sexism, homophobia, biphobia, and transphobia conspire to place the trans community at risk of fatal violence. Now, for those of you who you feel struck in your damn heart, for those of you who feel like, oh, I do want to do something, for those of you who literally have a good heart, but y'all just trying to really figure out what you can do, they also have links down there for you as well. Okay? So with that being said, this is today's live. And on Friday, on Black Men Unfiltered, girl, they're going to be giving their perspective, as if though we haven't heard it already, about how effeminacy is destroying the black culture. Meanwhile, you have black trans women and black trans men who have been unalived, who have been dead named. And when you look at the comment sections underneath those posts, what do they read? What do they read? Again, the queer community has no reason to fucking lie. Because as you can see with the theme of all of these trans people, the majority of them, they were always by people who knew them. Not the people who believe what the Bible said in the ignorant ass interpretation by your goddamn pastor who freaking off worse than anybody in the queer community could. Not based off of societal viewpoints that y'all use against them, but then get mad when it's used against you. Because you in society somewhere too, as far as the stereotypes. If we're going to play that game. But that the people that knew them said that they were loving, bright people. Even a few of them were activists. So that's also a further wake-up call for me as a queer person who is an activist. That this could possibly become my reality. But I've already had conversations with myself about that. And I already stated to the universe, girl, that if it happens to be the way that my life ends, I won't be the only one going out. Because if my death is going to happen off of some queerphobic shit, it's going to also start a new fucking initiative for queer people to say that you don't always have to have your life end up or be snuffed out in this way. That you can change the narrative. Because I wonder how the narrative would read if it read, Monique Brooks survives trans encounter, 5 of her assailants are dead. Or Tai'Vion surviving her trans encounter, attack encounter, 3 of them niggas is dead. That's why I also want my trans family to also stand alive and work through the triggers, the fear. And that it's okay to be afraid, but you ain't got to stay afraid. That you have resources, that you have the knowledge to be able to defend yourself so that you can survive the encounter. Because I guarantee you, on motherfucking Friday on Black Men Unfiltered, they're going to speak in such a way that it literally invokes these type of situations to happen to the queer community. And since y'all motherfuckers are going to do that and do that so well above all other things, I want you to understand that when that live comes on Friday and the lives we've done before, those type of lives inspire the realities of the motherfuckers that I keep bringing proof up every single time. I don't know how many goddamn lives I have showing y'all proof. Doing the work for y'all because y'all not doing it. Y'all, and what I'm starting to understand is that y'all don't really care about the children because you sure didn't do it for the heterosexual black ones either. The little RT situation. And that a lot of y'all don't even mind shit like this happening because it's one less fag to worry about. One less fag that can inspire my child. One less fag that can inspire my pastor. One less fag that can inspire society. One less fag that can inspire the government. One less fag. We making it make sense. Y'all gotta make it make sense. And you gonna need more than your opinion to make it make the fuck sense. You gonna need more than goddamn the Bible to make it make the fuck sense. But we're gonna see what these individuals do. Okay? We're gonna see. So with that being said, y'all, thank you for joining me for this live. Okay? Read y'all comments real quick. Let me see. Exactly. This made me think about the Lifetime film Prayers for Bobby. There's so many films. There's so many. Again, I say for the ex-gays, watch Pray Away. For the queerphobic people, because the Bible tells me so. This other one, for they know not what they do, I have to check that out. We already looked at Hell House on my channel, the Christian documentary about scaring people back into the church by using hell. And what happened for the gays? Oh, you got AIDS. The demons was giving you AIDS, and that's why you in hell getting laughed at by demons, and because you got AIDS. You got here because you got AIDS because you gay, and that's that AIDS shit. That's that gay shit. That's that fag shit. But y'all don't ever listen to our stories. You want us to listen to your fire and brimstone stories, and all of us grew up in that. Y'all the ones that's ignorant. Y'all the ones that don't know. Y'all the ones that's stupid. Y'all the ones that's dumb as fuck when it comes to queerness. No shade. And at this point, since y'all gonna kill us anyway, since you want us done anyway, we not going without a fight, which means you're gonna hear all of our mouths. And for some of us, we know how to use our hands, our fucking elbows, knees, and feet, and weapons as well. Because again, from my own personal experience, I know what it's like to be bullied by black men when I ain't doing shit. I'll be damned if the Pennywise ass clown gonna try me as an adult. And I think y'all may not want me outside my damn body, girl, because I know things about the spirit that some of you hoes don't. I educate myself outside the Bible. I'm already learning about astral projection and lucid dreaming and all that shit. You might want to keep me in the body, because outside the body, girl, I will show you what the gay agenda looks like. I'll make your fear materialize. Queen Stevie also says, remember I told y'all about my hairstylist, Regina Brown, down here in South Carolina? Black trans woman. We may not make it out alive in red states, but I'm surprised that I'm still here fighting for my sisters who are not here. This is a state of emergency for us black trans women. What's going on, boy crazy? So, again, that was just more proof. More overwhelming, substantial, factual, lived experienced proof. Now it's time again for the stoic, hetero black men who are about the family. It's time for them to continue to try to make this make sense. Because every single one of these queer people had family members and friends, family members who loved them. And then y'all demonize the ones who love them. You criticize the ones who love them. You make fun of the ones who love them. Be glad that there are people in the world that do what the fuck you don't have to do. And for the queer people, it don't matter what the fuck happened in your life. God, source, universe, consciousness will always find a way and make a way for you to be supported and be loved by people who will love you for who the fuck you are. That there are going to be people who are going to walk through the fear for real, who are going to see the God in you. Even though the motherfuckers who are demonizing you and going against you are the same motherfuckers, girl, that if God were to look in their damn closet, they'd be on the motherfucking ground. So the FUPA niggas gonna have to make this make sense. The bald head niggas with the goddamn fucking 5 lips on the back of their neck gonna have to make this make sense. The hog mog swallowing ass niggas, chitlin bag swinging ass arm niggas is gonna have to make this make sense. And again, it's gonna have to take more than just your opinion. More than what the Bible says. Because queer people will meet y'all on y'all ignorant ass level. In order for you to understand, you're gonna have to rise. And again, this is the age of exposure, the age of truth. And I already told you, everybody about to know what it feels like to be a fag. Everybody about to know what it feels like to be a nigger. Everybody about to know what it feels like to be a bitch. Everybody about to know it. That scripture, again, that's in the Bible where it reads to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's going to be a very major theme here. Because BubzDaGawd understands that I'm across the motherfucking board. I would prefer peace. I would prefer reconciliation. I would prefer community. But when it comes down to me having to defend myself, if war is where we're going to have to go, that's where the fuck we're going to have to go. And not all of us are going to die in the war. Queer people are no longer victims. Because if we were victims, we would not be walking in our truth. We would be in the motherfucking closet like some of you niggas are who are queerphobic. Dick leaking ass when you looking at other niggas ass niggas. And these people who live their life out loud and proud and honest, the one thing some of you niggas struggle with, they had their life snuffed out for that. But if you actually read the narrative of the Bible, Christ was walking in his truth that did not align with the truth of society, even though he was loving society, and society murdered him. And then turned around and pimped his story to make y'all niggas weak and never rise like him where they have control over y'all, which is why y'all fight so hard tooth and nail to try to prove queer people's existence wrong. Because if queer people exist and they're free to exist, then it means that everything that you've been taught by your pastor, by your ignorant ass granddaddy and daddies and shit is wrong. And guess what? Them niggas is wrong. They couldn't even clear up the conflict to be able to make sure that their generations after them lived better ass lives. So how the fuck they gonna be able to clear up queerness but can't even clear up the issues in blackness? Make that motherfucking make sense. Anyway, if you can, please make sure you hit that like button because it helps this channel to grow on the algorithms. Okay, we are at 812. We fluctuate, but we getting there. Okay, roll to 1K. If you like the vibe over here on BubzDaGawd and how we think outside the box, tongue tied and all, losing the thought to getting it all, girl. Just if you like BubzDaGawd, true, authentic, genuine nature, please make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as notification bell so that you can stay up to date with all of my lives and my edited content. Okay, if there's something I said in this live that sparks your curiosity, I give you permission to go ahead and screen record it and use it on your social media platforms, even if it is on a panel. Again, I give you niggas permission. Okay, and when you do it, at least make sure you tag me in it, because BubzDaGawd, we tag motherfuckers when we speak about shit. No shade. And if you feel compelled, you can definitely hit a nigga up in the Cash App, $BubzDaGawd. We take everything that jingles and folds. Okay. With that being said, shout out to Queen Spicy being in the building. Shout out to Queen Stevie. We got Chief Soul Survivor. Matter of fact, before we go, Chief Soul Survivor, when you were in that little RT live, how long did you stay in there, and what was your perspective? Let me know real quick before I end the live, because I saw your name during that horrible ass, fake ass, weak ass, baiting ass, ignorant ass live they did on Lil RT girl. If they were the persons in charge of saving Lil RT girl, y'all might as well go ahead and shoot Lil RT in the head, girl. That'd be more grace than these niggas trying to save him, girl. No shade. Boy Crazy, shout out to you. He said we ain't going back and we ain't giving slack. Yeah, okay? We are not doing it no more. Bubs will put them leprechaun feet up. I told y'all. I be trying to really do all I can with life, love, and all that stuff. But when it comes right to my self-defense, girl, that's one thing that I guess I have not healed from, and I don't want to heal from it, girl. Because I would literally let my leprechaun energy go. I would turn into 5 different motherfuckers, girl. Jack on steroids from The Incredibles. See how The Incredibles, he went from like 5, 10 different motherfuckers? Bitch, that's me. They got that from me. Okay, shout out to King Harold in the building. Shout out to you. Queen Amber in the building. Also, let me explain something to you. Queen Spicy and everybody else that's listening, my supporters. I just created a Discord for this channel. I'm still learning how to do it. It's going to be a private one though, because I don't want all type of motherfuckers in our shit. It's going to be a private server. So if you want to be a part of the private server, please, if you follow me on Instagram, please send me a DM. I know, Spicy, I don't think you have a social media platform, profile or whatever. If you may, I don't know. But if you don't and you would like to be a part of the Discord, see if you can find a way to send me or email me at BubzDaGawd@gmail.com using your email. And that way I'll be able to send it to you, because I don't want you to put it in the comment section below. But I ask that you please join the Discord. That way you'll be able to be updated on when I go live. We can also have our own little private conversations as well, and I think that would be dope. So again, if you want to be a part of the Discord, if you follow me on Instagram, send me a DM and say, hey Bubs, I want to be a part of the Discord. I will send you an invite. And again, I'm still figuring shit out. Okay, you got an IG IG Bubs. You got an IG Spicy? I didn't know that. You follow me? Do you follow me? And if so, I need to follow you back. But we'll do that. And again, y'all probably have to educate me on Discord because I'm still learning. But anyway, shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all. And until next time, y'all, make sure that notification bell stay on. Peace.
Love never dies. Just choose to be born.